Penn State is a team that I was really high on in 2020. Thought this was a top 10 team. Thought it was a team that could maybe challenge Ohio State in the Big Ten East. Obviously, it did not go that way. It was a rough year for the Nittany Lions. They finished 4-5. And what was crazy about it is the fact that they started the season off with 5 straight losses, but then finished with 4 straight wins. So as bad as 2020 was, will 2021 be better, or is this thing headed downhill, and will it be an even worse season in 2021? That's what I'm going to give you my opinion on here. As you look back to that schedule, Indiana, that game could have gone the other way. They could have won that game. One call could have changed that game at the end with the touchdown. And they played Ohio State fairly tough. I mean, it's 38-25. It's not like they got completely blown out. But then the Maryland game came, and that was a rough one for them. They lose a close one in Nebraska, lose to Iowa, but they finally turned it around, beat Michigan, Rutgers, Michigan State, and Illinois. Now, they didn't exactly beat the best teams in the Big Ten, but still, I think this team was better than their record would suggest. So we're not necessarily going to say, will the record be better, because I think that's obvious, but we're going to talk about if this team will actually be better. And you look to 2021 and who's coming back. One thing I think gets overlooked is Journey Brown not being able to play, and also Micah Parsons, he opted out. Those were probably your best 2 players, your best player on offense, your best player on defense, didn't play at all last year, and that hurt them big time. I think the run game, not just losing Brown, but then also losing Noah Cain to an injury. So your top 2 running backs you don't have them. I think that put a lot of pressure on Sean Clifford. He did not play well. He definitely went down this past season from where he was the season before. You had some, all the COVID issues and everything. That shouldn't be a problem in 2021. At least, nope, it's not. So I think Sean Clifford will improve, and you've got Noah Cain coming back, a guy that would have been their number 1 back if he had stayed healthy. You've also got Devin Ford back, Kevon Lee, who wound up, I guess, getting a lot of the carries during the season last year, and also Kazia Holmes coming in there as well. He played a little bit last year. So this is a team that, when you look at the running game, this team is going to be in great shape. They've also got a transfer coming in from, I can't remember now who it was, from Baylor, John Lovett, another guy that they can plug in there. So you're going to have a lot of depth at running back, and if they can run the football better, I think that will take the pressure off of Sean Clifford, like I just talked about. And so then you got to look at the wide receivers. Those guys have to step up. TJ Jones, he transferred, not a big loss there. They've got Jahan Dotson coming back. He should be their number 1 guy at wide receiver. Cam Sullivan-Brown, Keandre Lambert-Smith going to be coming back. Parker Washington coming back, and some other guys as well. So I think the passing game will improve if the run game improves. Again, it kind of all works together, and again, we'll take some of that pressure off of Sean Clifford. Losing Pat Freiermuth will be big. That's a great tight end that they're not going to have. And also Zach Kuntz, he entered the transfer portal, but they do have Theo Johnson and Brenton Strange coming back. And I'm not even talking about the young incoming freshmen, because I really just don't do that on these early looks. But you've got the freshman class coming in as well, of course. They'll lose Michael Minute and Will Fries on the offensive line, 2 really good players. Also, C.J. Thorpe transferred out. Good news, though, Anthony Wiggin will be back. He was a senior, going to come back for his extra year, and I think the offensive line will be pretty solid. It's going to be, I think, okay. And again, when the offensive line plays well, the run game does better, takes the pressure off Sean Clifford, the wide receivers step up. All of this works together, and I think because it'll be a normal offseason, you'll see this offense improve by a lot in 2021. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, you got some big losses on the defensive line. Shaka Toney gone, Jason Owe, Shane Simmons, all these guys are going to be gone. These are big-time players, and they will miss them. I think the defensive line is the one area where you can definitely say this team will not be as good. Probably was their strength last year, so they're going to miss those guys. And then in the middle, Antonio Shelton and Judge Culpepper, they transferred out. You do have Fred Hansard back and some other guys. So a defensive line, I think, will be okay, but it, again, will not be as good as it was last year. That's definitely an area where I think they're going to be down a little bit. At linebacker, Lance Dixon transferred out. Other than that, everyone else will be back, so they should be in good shape at that position. In the secondary, Donovan Johnson is gone. Not really a key there. Lamont Wade, that really the only guy in the secondary that they're going to miss at safety. He was a senior. he's gone. You had a couple of seniors decide to come back. Tariq Castro-Fields at corner, he will be back. He was a senior. Jaquan Brisker at safety also will be back, and this is a very talented player. So in the secondary, I think they're going to be in good shape. And again, when you look at the entire team, you could say maybe the offensive line takes a little bit of a step back, losing some key players. Defensive line won't be quite as good. But overall, I think this Penn State team should improve. I'm going to say they will be better in 2021. Having Noah Cain back at running back will be big. And I think it all starts there. You establish the run game. You take the pressure off Sean Clifford. Offensive line will have to play well. Receivers will have to step up. If they do that, this team can be really good offensively and defensively, with pretty much everyone coming back in the back seven. If some guys can step up on the defensive line, Penn State has a chance to be a really good team. Now, are they going to be good enough to challenge Ohio State? I don't know if I'm ready to say that, but I do expect them to be much better. I think it's a top 25 team from start to finish in 2021, and a team that probably gets back up there to number 2 in the Big Ten East. Maybe Indiana is in their way. We'll have to see how good the Hoosiers are. But let's keep in mind, this team actually did finish 3rd in the East last year. So if they finished 3rd, they would be in the same spot. But again, I just think the team overall will be better. And again, those are my early thoughts on the Penn State Nittany Lions.